It was great to be introduced to the show and everything through my friend Rhea, producer
Ria,
Rhea.
our angel,
Rhea, yeah,
she's an angel and she makes such beautiful connections with everyone
she's
and
so
just so
great.
so supportive of the arts and what everyone's creating. It's an honor to know her and we're so grateful.
Yeah,
And we're so happy to have you all on the show. Welcome to Mental Margarita Show. We have
thank
a
you
lot
Thank
for having
you.
we
us.
have a lot to celebrate. So
Yeah.
we have Lizette Santiago,
Hi.
actress, Danny McDermott, lead actor, writer, producer, Uriah, is it Herr? Am I saying
There,
that
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Producer, director, all of you have years under your belt of doing so many wonderful things, and we'll touch on some of those as we talk. But we are celebrating Party Panda, the birth of a serial killer,
Got my
which
panda.
most recent
Got my panda
most
bracelet.
really which most recently 22 wins, 10 nominations. It has just been just taking over the film festival circuit and catching the attention of so many. I enjoyed watching the screening for that. Um,
Yeah.
it roped me in. It made me think all kinds of things that I wasn't expecting to while watching it. And it just really it just takes you just to all the what could happen in certain scenarios and certain situations because it could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
so what brought all of you together for this project? Because you all
Well,
have different, like Danny, you have a background in comedy, so this was different than a lot of the things that you're known for. So
well,
how did it all come together?
yeah, I had been trying to get a feature film made with Christopher Titus for a while, and we just hit roadblock after roadblocks. And I had this piece, Party Panda, I had written 5 years ago. And what happened was it was Halloween. I didn't have a costume, but I had a T-shirt from the Dollar Tree that had a panda on it with a party cup, and it was a really cool shirt, and everybody loved the shirt. And so I said, this girl was coming over who used to live there. She was a makeup person to pick up a check that that was accidentally delivered there. And I go, yeah, all right, I'll give you the check, but you got to make my face look like a panda. And I went out, and nobody recognized me, which was shocking. And I took a selfie, and I was like, oh my God, this looks like a serial killer. And that's how I thought of it. And Uriah, how did we meet, Uriah?
We met at a mutual friend who does comedy nights. We met
Jay
at Jay
Davis.
Davis's comedy show.
That's
And
right.
then we met again like a week later at Titus's comedy he was taping a comedy special,
Yep.
and we met again there a week later, and we got to talking, and it was, and I was like, oh, I'm looking for new projects to work on. It was like kind of it was kind of the tail end of COVID, but the beginning of the writer's strike first, and then the actor strike this soon to follow.
Yep.
And I was like, let's grab coffee and let's talk. We got to talking, and you said you had several projects that were kind of ready to go, and I was like, I'm looking for something to do. So we got coffee, and I think you sent me like 3 or 4 different projects, and I kind of read through them, and I was like, this one, man, this is the one, because for so
Yeah.
many different reasons. I mean, it's close to home for me because of like the mental health issues, and a lot of the kind of subtle stuff that's in the story, but also it just felt like it had like such potential to be like a different thing, like it's not the same story over and over. It's like a totally different kind of tale. So
Yeah. A
yeah,
unique
so
psychosis.
yeah, I mean it, and it talks about bullying, which is a huge thing, and it's like, what, and this is like worst case scenario. What happens when somebody takes it way too far, like, which seems to be kind of in the world of extremes that we live in these days. It kind of
Yep.
seems to be something that happens more often than not, unfortunately. So it kind
Right.
of
And
had that
people
like it had appeal like that, it had that kind of like that draw to it, that like this is kind of a cool way to put a different spin on something that is terrifying, but also could potentially happen, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was one of
We
the
don't
things.
know. We don't know who's but close to the edge at any given time.
100%. You never know. It's like you know, you're sitting next to somebody at a restaurant and like you don't know what their day has been like, and you know, anything can happen. So
Yeah, people reach a breaking point sometimes, and it's I got bullied as a kid, and you know my father was pretty tough too, so I felt like a POW at certain points, and so I kind of drew from my experience from that, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, and it seems to be blowing up. Everybody loves it. I mean, we played it
like,
at the Barrel Tavern where we shot one of the scenes, and I was a little nervous because nobody was sitting. And in my experience, when I've been producing live shows forever, and in my experience, if people aren't sitting, they start talking and they don't pay attention. But
yeah.
everybody was riveted, and it was just
Well,
great.
and at that screening, to me, one of the special things was like sure, we brought a lot of people out to see it, you know, and so they had the expectation of going to see it. But we also kind of just crashed this bar. Like
Yeah,
they knew we were coming, but it was like there were
the
people that were
regulars
just there at the bar, you know, they like regulars sitting
they
there
didn't know.
Yeah.
watching a football game, and then the football game ends, and then we're like, hey, we're gonna show our movie. And you know, 90% of the time, somebody's going to be like, I don't care, you know, like the whole time. But like nobody, like not a word. Everybody was like glued to the TV and oohing and awing and gasping and laughing. And, you know, it's just a really great reception from, you know, a total mixture of, you know, film friends and people, but also just totally random bar patrons, which was cool.
And it was cool too because we actually shot one of the scenes there, actually two of the scenes there in the bar. So it was just a nice sentimental moment for the bar owners and for everybody. The locals who are there, they'll see the bar and the pool table and they recognize everything. So it was just nice to have that moment of we shot the movie here too, you know.
Yeah,
So
there were definitely some cheers during like
Yeah, when the barrel, yeah, when
you
the
know,
outside
like,
the barrel came up, yeah,
yeah, and it's so great to see so many different reactions because we've had plenty of screenings here in LA, you know, other places throughout the world now, internationally, I guess. Yeah, no, I guess we are,
yeah.
and it's so nice to see so many different reactions. Like I've seen the movie a number of times now, and people were reacting way differently at different parts in this time around at the bar, and it was just nice to see that like they really enjoyed like the pool table scene at the other house. Like, we had another pool table scene and they really enjoyed that scene a lot too, and that reaction got some reaction for at the other screenings, but at this bar I got a lot of reactions, like huge reactions, and it
Yeah,
was
and I
just
felt like I felt like a lot of the jokes really landed well at that screening too. Like, I mean, in general across the board, they seem to really land well. And like, you know, like backing up a little bit, I feel like we spent a lot of time kind of like Danny and I spent a lot of time in pre-production discussing like ways to make it a little bit more dense, a little bit thicker, you know, like what is the meaning behind this scene? Why is this happening? You know, bringing that motivation and that backstory into it and kind of really kind of getting granular on that stuff. And I think that really shows through that it's like it's not just this kind of straightforward generic like 80s slasher film. It's that, but it's also got this like underlying dark humor thing going on, and there's like moments of levity where, you know, there's just stupid moments to laugh at, and then there's also like a real subtle kind of commentary on some pretty serious issues in there as well. So it kind of has a little bit of something for everybody, and it really kind of catches people off guard because I don't think they're expecting that. They're not expecting to like see something of this nature in the genre and like think about it
well,
so much, you know?
well, we mixed pretty much three different genres really well. Psychological thriller, and because it's the psychosis of this guy, you see him changing and you see him snap. In fact, that's one of the greatest. Every single screening, there's the point where he snaps. People laugh and cheer and scream every time.
Well, and it makes them uncomfortable, you know,
Yeah,
which is like
yeah.
that's really what we want, is like to feel weird and feel uncomfortable in that scene.
Yeah, and but it's a psychological thriller kind of, but it's also the horror and it's also the comedy. So it's like three genres that I think we did a great job blending it. And I don't think people have seen many people have seen anything quite like it. because it does mix those three genres so well.
Yeah. When I first he first had the script and he said, "Babe, I want you to read the script." And that's how I came on board. By the way, we live together. And he goes, "I want you to read this script." And he, I read it. He told me about it a long time ago, but he said, "Read the script." And then when Uriah and him decided to do the film, he's like, "Read it, see what part you want." And I read both characters, the two main girls, I guess. And I really liked I was like, "Babe, I don't know. I like them both. I know it's a tough decision. They're both very well written, but I feel more connected to Sierra, the role that I played in Party Panda, Birth of a Serial Killer." And once again, I think it has to go through the fact that she was dealing with her mother, being sick and emotional stuff. And I connected to her, and she's like a hard worker. She's works at the bar. She has this boyfriend who's a bully, and she's just like, and then she meets this guy, but little weirdo, and I connected to her so much that I was like, I think I like this role, and that's what I decided. And then the other part of it I wasn't so sure about, and it's a little spoiler, but my scene with the funnel, I just
No, you don't want to give it away.
no, I don't want to give it away. No, I'm sorry. But that scene, when you see it, that was the only part that I was like, I don't know if I can, I don't know about that scene yet.
It was great.
But it was how are we gonna shoot this? And that scene kept coming in my head. Like, how am I
You
gonna do that?
nailed it, because it really
You
creeps
did.
people out. And I've had a lot of people tell me, man, I've never seen something like that. That's, genre movie horror fans are all about their kills and all about the different ways that people die in the movies. And so when you can get those kind of fans to say, "Oh, I've never seen that one before. That's so cool. That's so different," then, that's a big win. That's a, ching.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Whenever I write
one.
horror,
And sorry, we did that in one take, right, Uriah? That was a one take thing we did.
We it was kind of a 2-part one take. It was a continuation, but yes, I mean, we did the due to the nature of completely indie filmmaking, you don't have a whole lot of costume changes. So
right.
Once you get blood all over yourself,
Kind of done.
you gotta own it. You gotta really own it the first time. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
But that's when I was writing it, I always try to write things I've never seen. And I think we accomplished that. But the deaths, especially in horror, in my other movie that I wrote, one of the when we did the reading, one of the things what's his name? Casper Van Dien's wife, Jennifer Wenger, said was, "Oh my God, there are kills that I've never seen." And in horror, that's really important that you do
That's a
something
win.
unique.
Yeah, that's big with that community. So
Yeah, because you can't just do the same slasher stuff that everybody else has done. You gotta make.
There's nothing worse than going to see something for the first time, and you're amped up to see a new film come out, a new movie, and it's predictable, or there's something that you like you said you've seen before, and it's like, oh, now I know what's going to happen after this point. So
that's when this starts to happen.
I was pleasantly surprised, and right, I was pleasantly surprised and shocked, and yes, Lizette, I can't say enough about that scene. It was a shocking scene. I couldn't look and couldn't look away at the same time. So
that's what we want. That's what we want is. Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, that scene, I mean, so many different things in pre-production, but also during our production that night, all kind of culminated to make it this just like really viscerally intense moment that I think really plays on screen. It really, for lack of a better term, it really just turned out perfectly, in spite of the hardships that brought us there. And so I think, looking back on it, I'm like, shit, I wouldn't have changed any of that, because like the way it all worked was like frustrating, but also really brought that all to the screen, so it's like, it really kind of made it in a way,
and it added to the drama, because we were all like, we were being rushed, and
it added to my frustration as the character.
Yep. And my fear of, are we going to get this done?
It was, I mean, without going too deep into it, the quick backstory is there was just a heavy load of work that night, a lot to get done. And suddenly there were all sorts of unknown parameters that were slapped on top of us when we thought we had kind of a lot longer to shoot in that location. And suddenly it was like, and you don't actually. And it was like, oh man, okay, regroup. How do we do this? Like,
Yep.
Yep.
everybody put your thinking hats on. We need to get this. And like we did, so
Yep.
And you held it together. I think we all
Teamwork.
held it together, the three of us, 'cause yeah, I was even our special effects person, Vincent, Guastini.
yeah, Vincent, yeah.
Oh,
That was-
Vincent Guastini. Yeah, he did the effects.
he was on it too. We all just got together, like Uriah said, as a team, and we just said, we're gonna do this. We're not gonna let anything, hold us back, and we're gonna get this done. And let's do it. Let's do it, but we gotta do it now, and we
And
did it.
that's one of the awards that you won too, was for the special effects makeup.
Yep.
Yeah, Vincent actually just got an award for that. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I believe last week. Yeah.
Nice.
And he's
I mean,
done
he's
so
got
many things.
he's got a fantastic resume. I mean, he Requiem for a Dream, Dogma. I mean, like
The Last of the Mohegans,
his list of movies goes on, and like
Jane, Silent Bob, and World War Z with Brad Pitt.
he even did Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Wow,
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
So yeah, but I mean, and again, that was kind of when we were pulling our crew together. We were like, well, let's, best case scenario, what kind of favors can we pull, and who can we bring in that we know that will do it for nothing or pennies on the dollar, and it was like
that's where the strike helped us actually.
I was gonna say
Because
again,
Vincent,
that was kind
Vincent
of
would not have
serendipitous.
been available if there wasn't a
No,
strike.
it was kind of the perfect storm, because we got tons of auditions for all the actors because of the actor strike, and we were SAG, so we got
all the
waivers from
permissions.
SAG to shoot. So
Yep.
but we got tons of auditions. We had the crew that was available was fantastic, because things were really slow. So it was like, call on some favors, and we assembled this cool team of people that really brought it. I mean, it really kind of, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better than you could hope for when you look at the numbers. We'll just say
Right,
that.
And you won Best Cast, another award to add to the list
Mhm.
of
Yep.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've gotten some best actors and some lot of best horror film and horror elements and things. We even got a nomination for best original score, which I dragged my buddy in that just scored an A24 film, and I was like, look, I don't have any money, and he's like, that's okay, I owe you a few favors, and he wrote all this music for us and scored the whole film, and so it just kind of all of those elements came together in a perfect way. So
Oh yeah, and then last minute we had to do all the sound, evening out the sound and everything. And she was going to rehearsal for a play. I stopped into the barrel, and this guy that I knew who did sound for live shows all the time.
for
"I'll do it."
mastering, yeah.
He goes, "I'll do it." And he had a new baby, so while he's got a new baby and he's he did the work for us.
Yeah, he was mastering the soundtrack and all of the dialogue and everything, and I'd be on the phone with him, and he'd be like holding I could hear the baby in the phone, and I'm like, yeah, if you need to take a break for 5 minutes, like that's fine. Like set the baby down and come back to it when you can. I'll call you back or whatever.
Although he didn't really
Doing-
have time.
Dealing with a little sleep deprivation to go on top of it.
Yeah, but he made it sound good. All
And
the
he did it for
dialogue
free.
came out great. So
That was amazing. That was amazing. We're
yeah.
very lucky.
Well-
I think part of the reason is we surrounded ourselves with good people, good humans.
And even on set, like the cast, working with them, talking to them, like between scenes, I fell in, the boys that we had, the frat boys, I fell in love with them right away. I was like, I have to do a scene with these kids, these guys, how are they going to be? And right away, my boyfriend was awesome. The guy who played my boyfriend was awesome. The two other guys,
Justin's
Oh,
amazing.
Justin.
he was awesome.
He's just a pro too. Like, I mean, he's got years of like soap opera experience, so his like ability to improv and stuff is just so on point, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
he just shows up and he's ready to go.
And he's so real. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's what I love. His acting is just so real,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still one of my favorite moments was like the first day of filming at the bar, when everybody starts picking on you around the pool table, and and afterwards everybody we kind of broke for lunch, and everybody was like, man, I feel sorry for this guy. Like,
Yeah.
it was like it was kind of funny, because they were all like, here they were, the guys picking on you, and
Yep.
then they're like, man, I feel sorry for this guy. Like, what? Like, that sucks.
Yeah. That was so
Yeah.
great when they said that. That's a huge compliment for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew you were creating the right kind of tension, at that point,
Yeah.
because it was like, this guy is really just getting picked on by these people. So,
It was
and
great though. It
again,
was
like
great working with them.
bringing that stuff into the film, you see that on screen,
Mhm.
that makes it happen. That emotion shows on the screen when you watch it, and like that gives it that reality. That's that's the difference between phoning it in and really like living it and acting it out. It's right there. It's so.
Our
I
friend
don't
Ronnie
think.
And
Lynn, who saw it. I'm sorry, our friend Ronnie Lynn, who saw it. She produces a lot of television. She goes, "Oh my God, I can see how that would really happen to someone." And she's like, I love you, but you scare me a little bit."
And yeah, there's
I
just
told
professional actors and stuff too. Go ahead, sorry.
I told my co-host the same thing. I said the thing that got me is that I could see it happening and it was so relatable. There was so many elements that people watching can that I took care of a grandmother for 8 years with dementia,
Mhm.
and there were some days, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
yeah.
something that people can relate to and maybe check themselves to kind
Yeah.
of like, it gives you a little bit of a brain check to say, how am I? Kind of like, let me test the
Yeah.
waters a little bit. Actually, how am I doing with this situation? And then, the bullying thing, I was bullied as a kid too. Had this kid used to drag me around by my hair at school. I mean, it was just everyone has had some kind of experience like that. And then, the kids today deal with cyberbullying, and
Mhm.
there's so many elements to the film that, like I said, it can be so everyday for someone. So, I think that just adds to the attraction of it, and the way it kind of grips you when you're watching it, because there's going to be something, like you said, for everyone. And, you hit the nail on the head, having a great group of people to work with, and it just makes the experience so much richer. And I think it's why it turned out so amazing the way it did.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that
Yeah.
scene that we had too, the party scene at the frat house. Was it the frat
Oh, that
house?
was
Yeah.
great. Oh
It's
my
like
God.
that day they brought in extras on board, and in the background actors, more people on set with the leading actors and stuff, and it was just everybody was having fun. We really were having a party, and it was just like
So I got to
it
tell
was,
this. Yeah, I got to tell this story about this. I'm in the back getting makeup on. Everybody else is out front. Uriah didn't tell me what he was going to do, and and I come in. He goes, "Just go in and do it," like that. So that was almost all improvised. And but what happened was I walk out and I think he's going to give me direction, but all of a sudden, boom, the music goes on. Everybody starts partying. And so I'm just like, "Oh, we're in the scene. Okay." And I started riffing and just doing stupid stuff. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I had no idea we were even shooting yet.
Mhm.
He
Yeah. Well,
surprised me.
sometimes the surprise attack works well.
It really,
Behind the scenes, I told everybody, look, whenever he comes out, everybody's enamored by this guy, and everything he says is the most hilarious thing. And, like, he's the life of the party. So, and everybody was having a good time and kind of jiving to the music and stuff. And it just really played out well, So
and
Yeah.
that was an
sometimes that
important
works.
shift in the character. That was an important shift because once he snaps, he's not scared. He's lost
He comes out of
all
his
of his.
shell.
Yeah, he's got no filters anymore. And he just now he's like, fuck it, I'll be whoever I want to be now. And and it turns out he's a great guy and everybody loves him, at the
Until
party.
they don't.
Until he gets even.
He gets a taste of what he really wished for,
Yeah.
before that happened.
Yeah, he
So,
for a moment he gets to live the dream, right? He
Yep.
gets to
He
be
gets to be
that guy, the
popular.
center of attention and the life of the party, and
Yeah.
he can't handle it. He can't
Yep.
handle the truth.
And
So,
I think that's why I wrote it as because pandas everybody loves them. They think they're so cute and everything.
Everybody
So
loves pandas.
so anybody who looks like a panda, they're gonna be disarmed by them.
mhm.
You know what I mean? It's
Well,
just
pandas are cute, so you don't
well,
expect,
it's the perfect sneak attack, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Gets under
Yep.
their skin, and you set off this one aesthetic, but really it's another thing altogether.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Well, y'all did a fabulous job at it, and so worthy of all those awards and nominations. Just wonderful work, everybody. Is I can't say enough about it. And I'm
Thank you.
excited to see, is there any other things in the works? Anything we need that's on the boilerplate?
I wrote the
Yeah.
feature. Uriah and I went through a whole outline. I wrote the feature, then we rewrote it. Like he gave me notes, and we
I think we're on like the 7th or 8th pass at this point of the script.
something like that. Yeah, but
it's very
I-
close.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about the feature. I mean, anybody who thinks the short is good, the feature is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, that's really kind of the next push, is like we're trying to kind of segue these wins and this attention into getting funding to make the feature version. So we're kind of getting everything lined up for that. We've got a really great script at this point, which goes, it goes into the backstory behind the characters. It goes a little past where the short film goes, and it mixes up all the elements of the short film and kind of scrambles that into a really cool story. And we've got, our executive producers are on board, and they're really psyched about all the wins and, just the momentum moving forward. And so we're just kind of out there shopping it to the world and trying to find like that next big push to bring the feature version to life and kind of really get it out there to the world, hopefully. So
I think we're gonna probably get the money by the end of January. I think we can do it by the end of January.
I like that optimism.
After the holidays, that'll be a Christmas present.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
A post-Christmas present, right?
Post-Christmas present.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get it with all the wins and everything. We'll do another screening or two for money people, and I think we'll get it. I really do.
Yeah. But currently we're still in the film festival circuit too, right, Uriah?
Yeah, we're actually in film festivals all the way through about this time next year. Like I had a film that I produced, a feature film that was in a festival in Barcelona and won best feature film at that festival 2 Octobers ago now. And so we submitted to them and we got into the festival, but we got in so late, so close to their screening deadline, that they sent an email. It's very nice. They were like, look, we want your film in there. We love to have alum back to the festival. Unfortunately, we were already scheduled for our screenings, so we can't fit you in this year, but we'd love to have you back next year as well, and we'll screen it next year. So that's in like the beginning of October in Barcelona of this coming year. So yeah, we've got quite a few festivals still to kind of hear back from, and we've now got I think we're currently semifinalist in like 13 or 14 festivals that we'll hear about over the next like month. So that train just keeps rolling forward and just keeps going for now. So
I'm hoping for the Tokyo one. I want the Tokyo win.
Yeah. I mean, we won in Nepal.
Yep.
I didn't even know there was a film festival in Nepal, but we won there, and
we were close in Ukraine. They're having
we won several awards in Ukraine.
Yeah.
We got nominated for several categories, and we won a few categories there. We won in Italy, Canada, Los Angeles a few times, nominations in Chicago. I mean, it's kind of global at this point, which is awesome. So, which also helps, moving forward. It kind of reinforces what we already know, which is that there is global appeal to something like this, like the audience is out there, which is kind of always that big question mark that's floating over your head when you're getting a project going. And so to have that reinforcement is like, cool, you see it too. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
it's wonderful confirmation.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, that's so exciting, and can't wait to hear the updates when the feature comes out and how that progresses. And yes, you're absolutely right. Knowing that next progression is coming and is coming soon is exciting. And you just expect it, guys, because you put in all the work, and the world has been starting to see this story, and it's got so many more things directions it's going to go, and more celebrating that I'm sure we'll be hearing about in the future. So
Yay.
we
Awesome, thank
really
you.
enjoyed having you and visiting with you about this project and being able to share in some of this joy and excitement and the buzz that's going on. And we're excited for the people of Las Vegas to meet each of you and to be able to hear about this project and explore more of your work, because you all have done so many different things and still doing. And
Yeah, we have a couple
yes.
other projects on the, that we're working on too. So
Yeah,
we got a
I gotta
whole
talk to
bunch
Uriah,
of
see if
stuff.
he read the scripts.
I
Uriah.
did read them.
So yeah, there's definitely more to come.
Ma-
More to come.
Many irons in the fire, as it needs to be, right?
Yep.
Mm.
Wonderful. Well, you keep up the creative work. It's what we're the essence of who we are, and that's our passion. Now, I do have a question for each one of you before we go. The name of this show is called Mental Margarita for a reason. Mental Margarita is finding your center, your escape, what brings you your passions, and what brings you great joy. So, starting with you, Lizette, what's your mental margarita?
What brings me passion, basically, is what you're asking, right?
The
I
one,
can't.
it could be something fun, it could be your escape and getaway.
Well, first of all, as you already know, I love acting. I love the stage. That's where I started. I've been acting since I was a kid, actually. And I fell in love with performing, regardless of where it's at, on the stage, on film, and commercials. Voiceover, I do a lot of voiceover work. I just booked the first female Spanish Zoltar in the animatronic machine that was supposed to unveil in Vegas, as a matter of fact. But now it's in New Orleans.
The Zoltar is the fortune teller machine in Big.
From
in
Big,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
I just finished that, and they just released it in New Orleans. Supposed to go
Wow.
to Vegas next. I'm hoping it's like I have an excuse to go out there and celebrate and gamble.
And my good friend played the Young Times Hanks in Big, so it's kind of funny that happened. I told him about it. We're supposed to catch up soon.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my
Circle.
joy. My joy and my love is my passion for my performing, for acting, my creativity, and I also do yoga meditation to help me clear my mind, my body, and my spirit, so that I can always focus on the prize, which is to continue to act for the rest of my life if I could. So.
Wonderful. What
Mhm.
about you, Danny?
Karaoke.
I knew you were gonna say that.
One of my pastimes is singing, but I'm not pursuing it because I can't pursue everything. But no, I love creating. I'm really enjoying writing and creating short proof of concepts right now. I've got a few different projects that I think are going to happen, definitely going to happen this year. And I love just seeing it come to life and being able to act because I mean, I don't, there's auditioning and getting these agents to get you the right auditions is so difficult. That's why I'm enjoying creating my own stuff. And then people can see what we can really do. We don't have to like prove it in 2 minutes in an audition.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I've wanted to produce my own films for many, many years. And now we're finally doing it. People are finally giving me money. I don't know how, I don't know why.
Let them know that's a bad idea.
That's
So, yeah.
the icing on the cake. So what's your go-to karaoke song? Pick number one.
Oh my God. I've been doing it 30 years now. So, I mean, I've got tons of them, but one of my favorites is Send Me an Angel. That's one of my favorites right now by Real Life.
Bobby.
Okay.
Sorry, that's our cat in the background.
Yeah.
That's our other passion, cats and animals. me as
So
well.
we'll have to mention cameo appearance by our feline,
He's
frisky
trying to.
feline.
He's over there in the kitchen. Bobby.
It's funny. He's got this hoarse meow. It kind of sounds like Christopher Walken. He's like meow,
Meow. Meow.
Meow.
Meow.
He's kind of doing that right now, so it's funny.
That's funny.
Now you, Uriah.
Your turn.
I mean, to not, I could be generic and say, filmmaking, which has always been my passion since I was a child. I convinced my two brothers to save all our money all summer long and buy a VHS camcorder so we could shoot our own little movies and do the old like play, pause, editing on the VHS machine. But outside of the world of filmmaking, which I genuinely do absolutely enjoy, and there's nothing else I'd rather be doing in the world, probably travel. I love to travel. I love to go visit different places in the world, places that are completely off the map or people don't really go to. You know, I'm not hitting up the top 10 Instagram spots, you know, trying to go to like, you know, the crazy undiscovered places that people don't go, you know. So I mean, like in the last couple of years, I mean, I've been to everywhere from Cuba to Madagascar to Sri Lanka, Iceland, you know, all around the world. So I think that to me is really something that's inspiring and awesome, and centering is like going out into the world and seeing how other people live and how other cultures are and how other places are, and you know, it kind of always puts you back at your home base with a different perspective on things. You know, you kind of see the world through new eyes every time, and that's kind of a really cool thing to experience. And everybody should get a passport and go out and travel.
I gotta renew mine.
It's crazy. It's
Great
crazy all
advice.
the things you've seen and done, man.
Mm.
And the trinkets you bring back are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, all the stuff you bring
Sometimes
back.
they're very bizarre.
His place is insane. He has the coolest thing.
Coolest
I
stuff.
have a penchant for voodoo talismans from Northern Africa and all sorts
You
of
know, it's
bizarre
funny
things.
because I don't know if I ever told you this, Uriah, but one of the reasons I just was sure that you were going to be a great director was when I saw your place. It was immaculate. It was organized like I've never seen. And you
Don't
had
look in the
all the
background.
cool artwork and cool, you know, trinkets from all over the world. And you were just so on top of things. And I was like, no way, you definitely got to be the director.
And I saw what you did to Jen's closet. That's fantastic. I'm jealous.
Oh yeah, it's like a showroom now. It's crazy, but
Beautiful. Have you seen it? Oh my God. Her
I was a
closet.
set designer for many, many years, so I know how to build and design things as well. And so when I'm bored and there's no work, I find something to keep my hands busy. So
Coolest department ever.
Coolest. Really cool.
so
Well, we'll keep that in mind. So
if you're in LA,
Party at Uriah's.
and we'll have to pay a visit to the museum. So definitely have to
yeah,
come and check out that collection. Sounds awesome.
absolutely.
Well, this is a pleasure and honor to have you all on the show. Thank you so much for joining us, spending some time visiting with us. And Party Panda, folks, keep on the lookout
Woo!
to see this
Panda.
film.
Hopefully
And,
we'll have a
yeah.
lot of beer merchandise soon too. We're
Oh,
working-
yeah, we
Coming
gotta
to a
do
festival
merch.
near you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, tell them about the website.
I mean, you can go to partypandafilm.com.
Yep.
And on that website, we update it regularly with new festival screenings, wherever they may be, and links to get tickets and all that stuff. There's a page with photos and things like that. And then there's a page with all the accolades and awards and things like that too. So you can kind of keep tabs there. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. I believe it's also Party Panda Film on the respective sites. But yeah, we keep all that stuff current and social. So if you want to check it out and see when we might be around your town, that's the place to get down.
There you go.
Wonderful. Well,
Oh, and
best
if
new
you have
horror-
money for the movie, reach out.
Call us.
We will send you a link.
Yeah.
best new horror film, all investors welcome.
Yes.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely reach out. The more the merrier.
Love
The
it.
bigger, the
So-
better.
Yes.
Thank you
Come
so
with your
much for having us
checkbook.
on.
Yeah. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. We had a great
You
time.
all travel safe and have a beautiful holiday.
You too.
You as well.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy
And
holidays.
Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, everyone. Bye.
Happy New Year to all of you, and we'll be in touch for those great updates coming up.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Fantastic.
you're starstruck, here's a sprinkle of the stardust. Hold your champagne glass and your cigars up. See the guys with mob ties drive the cars up. Bright lights, most nights they buy the bars up. Candy coated Chevy cars on the highway. It's Frankie baby, it's on and this is my way. Dean Martin at the Sands this Friday. With Sammy Davis, here's a little hint where I stay. The city shines like Liberace's mansion, and you know Elvis had the whole city dancing. Showgirl silhouette steady prancing. Shout out to June, just the Copa Girls anthem. Legal gambling, yeah, that would tempt me. It's Sin City, holy water couldn't cleanse me. And Wayne Newton had the crowd in a frenzy. Live at the Stardust, the seats never empty. Now if you having a good time in Las Vegas, at the count of 3, I want to hear you scream, Viva Las Vegas. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Viva Las Vegas! And Main Street was the official local beer stop.